I think I watched that Gangs trailer more than 10 times already, and I'm still impressed by the amount of variety and content it showed. Like, Cyberpunk is going to be huge, as we already expected, and now we got way more info thanks to a recent Q&A with the developers, new trailers from the Night City Wire, and way more. So I want to tell you everything you need to know in this video. A like would really help the channel out. And let's go. First up, a quick reminder that you can win Cyberpunk in my September giveaway, or actually any other 2020 game of your choice as well if you want. You can enter via the link in the pinned comment, and you have to be a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and good luck. We saw quite a lot of consumables, if you can call them that, in the postcards of Night City trailer, like food. I actually see Johnny Silverhand stand here on the right. He doesn't look that amused by your food choice. But also a lot of drugs was consumed and like VR entertainment. Or in the Gangs trailer, when focused on 6th Street, we see V take shots and do a target practice minigame. The developers note that there are no survival elements in Cyberpunk, luckily. So eating and drinking is not required, but you will get special bonuses from consuming food or drinks. And we of course saw your own apartment in that first gameplay reveal. Well, you can take a shower here, but also use the toilet and admire yourself in the mirror. Like, that's one of the ways you can view your own character. What else stood out when focused on the 6th Street gang is the awesome sledgehammer V was holding to use against these enemies. We know that one source for the sledgehammer will be the animal boss that was briefly shown in the trailer. Like, taking her out should drop this weapon. And we actually saw a lot of melee combat in this trailer. I always like arena style encounters, and seems like we got some activities like that, at least against the animals. Seems like the Tiger Gang will be our best source for a katana, because in a lot of footage they showed, we saw V use the katana to, for example, protect against incoming projectiles, enemies using the katana as well. We do know that the melee combat was still something CD Projekt Red was tweaking not so long ago, and the people who actually played it did not really like that part, while shooting, for example, felt great. So I really hope they still had the time to make it better for the final release. The different weapons we can expect at least look awesome. Like in the postcard trailer, we also saw a hologram with, I think, the mantis blades and some other arm augments. Although I hope we can get these laser type weapons from this tiger enemy as well. Like, that would be cool, because they did confirm that there will be gang themed weapons and outfits we can get, and also customizable vehicles. And the small footage we got of V on the motorcycle in the awesome tiger style jacket already looked great. And overall we can buy cars and bikes, by the way, and also get vehicles from mission rewards. But we cannot use the flying car, sadly, that we already saw in the many trailers. We actually use one of those as a sort of shuttle at the start of the corporate life path. So again, we can still like use them to get from point A to point B, we just cannot control them. And I do think that makes sense, like flying a vehicle around in this city would likely not be technically possible. We should expect car races though, as was briefly teased in the trailer during the Badlands Nomad section, which should be awesome. And overall, I just love the gameplay of a car riding around in this game. I don't know why, but it really looks awesome. And maybe the race is part of a gang-specific main mission, although we can also do side missions for gangs and fixer objectives. And fixers will call you when they got jobs for you, like we saw in the weapons trailer with Wakako, and I hope I pronounced that right, who we actually also saw now as part of the Tiger Gang. And these gangs of course have rivals, which became clear in the trailer, and we also saw that these gangs usually control a specific part of Night City. And throughout the game, they will not really shift in power, like one gang will not take over the entire city, for example. Although there will be some local shifts here and there as you help them out, and you can also witness them killing each other over territory or some gang business. And most of the encounters you see between the gangs, or when you like encounter the gangs yourself, are made by CD Projekt Red. They will not be like some random encounters that just happen because different AI don't like each other. Now, in an interview with TheGamer.com, CD Projekt Red notes that just like The Witcher 3, most of the things we will see in Cyberpunk are handcrafted. Just like the story missions, of course, and our relationship with Jackie, that will be different depending on the life path we choose at the start. But we will actually have more sidekicks throughout the game that come with us on specific missions, and we should even be able to to take them for a drive or go have a drink with them. Or it could also go the opposite. They can namely become your enemy later down the road, likely based on your choices. And we don't know if the choices when they appear are good or bad. I really like stuff like this. It's of course something we've seen many times before, but you really have to think by yourself, okay, what would be the right choice here, instead of like the game saying, hey, this is a good and this is a bad choice. For gangs, it seems like choices will not lock you out of specific jobs. Like when fighting one specific gang for a mission, you can still take jobs from that same gang and help them with their troubles. What is cool is that the NPCs could remember what you did against their own gang and maybe hold a grudge over that, although it doesn't seem to rule out working for a gang completely. There was a question in that developer Q&A if you could be a full-on bad guy, and while you can kind of roleplay like that, it's not possible to kill everyone in the game and really blow up the whole city, because that would ruin the story according to CD Projekt Red. We do know there's some sort of GTA style wanted system, so you will be chased when you blow up a lot of people, which I can't wait to see in action. That sounds awesome. And I also want to go over some other interesting details that we recently learned, namely that the game has 45 trophies, 1 gold, 17 silver and 26 bronze. The QA lead namely shared that he got the platinum on the game while working on it, so very cool. One thing that I found very interesting is that there seems to be a transmog or visual customization system in the game. They namely explained that they do not want to limit you in a way where you have to use the outfit with the most armor. So they mentioned slots that you can use instead, so that way you can still look the way you want, while also holding on to the best stats. Another way you can, by the way, see yourself in the game is in the menu, but also via the photo mode that should be pretty deep and can be used to take, of course, cool pictures of yourself in the game. We should be able to redistribute skill points, so reset them and then choose new skills, because there should be quite a lot of different builds. In the E3 2019 demo, they already showed 2 examples where the strong solo would simply break into everything using brute force and even grabbing the turret to use it as a gun against the enemies. And we also had the net runner who could hack different things in the environment or also hack enemies to do crazy stuff. So you should be able to change things up in a playthrough quite a lot, and relocating your skill points will of course help you try those different styles. And if you, by the way, fail and die, you will load your previous save, although mission failures do not necessarily mean game over. You can fail a mission and then still continue, but that will likely change the narrative. I'll be keeping an eye out for way more Cyberpunk 2077 news and info, so totally subscribe if you haven't already for way more on the game as we get closer to that November 19th release date, and of course beyond as well. There should be one more Night City Wire, by the way, at least before the launch. So we'll be checking on that. A like on the video would really help the channel out. And don't check out my previous video on other recent news, and also where we celebrate the fact that we are closer to the game than ever. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.